Big shame that Teddy's missing this podcast. A lot of good DC stories to talk about. For him, you know, it gives him more things to talk about. He's always complaining when we talk about TIFF or Dune.
Which we saw, by the way.
Right, and he hasn't.
Yeah, no, it sucks, you know, having a wife and a job. He can't pod with the boys anymore. I'm really, like, wondering where his priorities lie. Clearly, they're not with us. So, you know, it's sad, you know, getting older, becoming everything that when he was probably younger looked at and said, that's not going to be me. Well, it is you now, Teddy. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your life. I hope you're happy. Leaving us just without our third co-host, it's selfish, too. I really don't care too much, but I just for him, I want him to... Is this what he wants, is all I'm asking. I don't think it is.
Well, he's going to be fired soon because he won't get the vaccine, so that's good for us.
No.
Being anti-vax, good for the Nerd Soup podcast.
No, I want what's best for Teddy, and I think it's right here in this chair.
Well, don't worry. He's going to be put right here in this chair.
I don't want him to leave. I miss him.
Well, I'll have to rethink my mandate, but yeah, he should be back soon.
I'll give him some of mine.
Some of your vaccine?
Yeah.
What are you, like a vampire? What are you, like...
I'll let him... Yeah,
you're going to do like midnight mass.
Yeah,
this man's going to be resurrected. It's like, I knew there was something funny about those shots.
Honestly, yo, that would be so Teddy. Him, like, I'm not going to get the... I don't want a needle, but I'll suck Aaron's blood out to get...
100%.
Yeah.
His health concerns vary depending on... I have no idea what, but they do vary. They're very inconsistent.
No, I could drop like a hamburger on the floor right now and he would scoff it up. No questions asked.
Like, 15-second rule.
Just add seconds to fit his...
It's like the fish. You know, the fish always gets bigger as the fisherman tells the story. That 15-second rule for Teddy, just by the time he's in his 70s, it's going to be a minute.
No, he probably is all immune. He probably is immune to everything at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Soup Podcast. I'm Bo Oliver, joining you today with Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, and we are back to talk about the world of Hollywood movies, TV, video games. Mostly talking about movies. DC Fandom was over the weekend, and we got 3 new trailers for upcoming DC movies. The Batman was the big one that set the internet on fire. Also got Black Adam, and a quick look at The Flash. And all 3 good trailers, so I'm excited to talk about them. We've also got a movie that's being shot in space that is actually wrapped. We'll be talking about that. And we've got new titles for M. Night Shamalyan and Wes Anderson's upcoming movies and pictures. But you can listen to this podcast, of course, on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all the homes for podcasts on the internet. Follow us at Nerd Soup on social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Bo Soup, Nerd Soup Monkey. Upcoming videos. Let's see. What do we have on the schedule? Well, Dune's coming out this week.
Dune, spoiler discussion. We got Succession kicking off. Started last night.
We're going to drop our Succession Episode 1, Season 3, Episode 1 review on Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that Wednesday early. And we hope to, Ted Lasso Season 2. We're still working on that, so we're going to be dropping that. And I'm going to actually push back my Bond video. Instead, I'm going to do a Dune video.
Oh.
Because we're approaching Dune. So I'm going to do like a Dune recap where I'm going to get into some of the lore, some of the characters, some of the settings, and explanation video for fans who, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in Dune. It could be a bit overwhelming. So I'm going to clear all that stuff up. We've got a packed schedule over the next couple of weeks, but first story, man, I'm exhausted from talking all that I just did, but the fucking Batman. The Batman is finally here. And they finally made him a psychopath.
I tell you what, that was our cleanest transition from intro to first topic, I think.
Ever?
So for a while, we've been doing like second cold openings after that, which I like, but...
Yeah, because you two never shut the fuck up.
Maybe we're better off without that. I'm more efficient.
Yeah, cut the fat out.
Oh, come on. He's looking good.
No, it's an expression. Yeah, when you cut the fat.
Malintent.
Cut out the gabagoo.
That's racist. Now you're
Did I finally commit a racist?
Now you're just being offensive.
No, it doesn't count, honestly. I'm going to see how racist I can be to Teddy.
It's
before he
anti-Italian
punches me.
discrimination. Yeah, Batman trailer. I actually couldn't watch this until like later on in the day. I was kind of pissed I missed it. But like once I finally did, I sat down, got comfortable, and really took it all in. It's a great trailer. I think we've been talking about this movie for so long. Should have been out already, but Matt Reeves, such a terrific director. I think the casting has been pretty much on point. There was obviously the big talk in the beginning is Robert Pattinson, and obviously it's just a trailer, but I think just from this alone, a lot of people who may be skeptical can, you know, be reassured that like he's going to do a great job in this movie because he's just a tremendous actor regardless. I think this is like pretty much everything I wanted in this trailer. This may be a little bit of a hot take though. As much as I liked the trailer, I kind of enjoyed the first teaser we got a little more.
Interesting.
I think I was more excited after that than I was for this. Not to say that this was bad at all, but I kind of like what we got in that one more. This one definitely more look at Pattinson's Batman. First looks at a number of characters, including Catwoman, which I think Zoë Kravitz is perfect for that role. Another thing, you don't need the makeup for Colin Farrell. It should just be Colin Farrell. Because that's everyone's talking about.
It should be a different actor.
That Colin Farrell? No, it should just be Colin Farrell.
No, it should be a different actor. Get an actor who looks like the Penguin. But they act like these people don't exist.
Like,
what do you mean? He's a fat mobster. Let's not act like fat actors don't exist.
I know.
I mean, that's the other side of it, is that instead of getting someone who's just a fat guy, it's like, no, look, they have to transform into a fat person.
Right. And
there are no good fat actors out there?
But I think, well, even you said you wanted like a Sean Bean type Penguin.
Yes.
So like I think if they wanted to go, like they should have just kept it that. And if they wanted to match the look, which you don't have to, Gotham's Penguin is probably the most well received in live action, and it's nothing like the Penguin.
No, but you can also, if you want it, they're trying to make him look like comic book Penguin.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's the same thing with the Baron. Stellan Skarsgård's a great actor, but let's not act like there aren't actors out there who are a bit heavy who can portray that character just looking as they look. It's not. It's sometimes it's almost like we're being offensive towards fat people. It's like, the only fat people on screen have to be skinny people pretending to be fat.
Christian Bale.
Exactly.
But he actually did the work.
I don't mind.
I respect that more.
What he looks like in this because I think it's funny.
I don't
think
either.
The accent's funny.
That just controls. That's just what everyone's talking about, and it's just like you can just do Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
Okay, well, let's get off of that and talk about how awesome Robert Pattinson looks. Under the mask, under the cowl. I mentioned I've been wanting the psychopath Batman, where it's not about avenging his parents anymore. He's just doing it because he likes it. And that one shot of Catwoman looking at Batman beat that guy to near death, and she's shocked. Mm-hmm. She's taken aback because even though she is a villain and she does villainous things, at times Batman crosses that line as well, to a point where, okay, you're maybe fighting for the good guys, but you're doing horrible things. Do the ends justify the means? That's the question here. But seeing Batman in daylight, covered in mud, not something, it's very rare, so you're wondering, what is he actually getting himself into? The reports about it being a 3-hour movie, we haven't even seen Paul Dano in costume. They're hiding him. Somebody said he's just going to look like Paul Dano in a Riddler costume. I don't know why they're hiding him, but it's that eerie presence, the Jigsaw character lurking in the shadows, manipulating Batman and challenging him mentally, more so than physically. But physically, this Batman, what they've done here is, okay, Clooney's Batman got so ridiculous, I guess you could say it's sort of like a comic book in that aspect. And then Nolan grounded the character to a point where he fights like an actual person, where his movements are slow. But here, it looks like there's a nice combination of the two, where it feels like a gritty, realistic take, but Batman's bulletproof. Batman's going to be able to fight in a room of 20 people and come out unscathed, because it looks like he's fighting as if he is a comic book character.
Shoot him in the mouth.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
What are you, CinemaSins now with Batman?
Saying.
You don't like Batman? The first teaser's better.
If I was a villain.
Colin Farrell's a terrible actor.
Did
Shoot
the Riddler
Batman in the
order
mouth.
the coffee with the question mark, or did he make the question mark?
The barista was probably very upset by the Riddler's ordering that question mark in his coffee.
Didn't even drink it.
No.
No, I mean, I thought, I don't know, I think the trailer was awesome, but I just like preferred the original better, because I think it was just kind of out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that much footage to begin with, and kind of the Paul Dano voiceover, and just the first looks, I think, were just more exciting to me. Not to say that this trailer wasn't amazing. The shot of the Batmobile going through the flames and him taking that walk out, it's
incredible.
Matt Reeves, I think he just has a knack for. And if you watch the last two Planet of the Apes movies, like, the way he's able just to capture things is just pretty phenomenal. And, like, obviously this movie's been in development for a while, and I think this is something that he's been able, might be a little bit of a like blessing in disguise, fine-tuned things to an extent where I think he's really, not that he wouldn't have normally, but he's really had time to really perfect this. And I think his vision, if it is, the rumors are true and it is close to 3 hours, that tells you that he's really being able to do what he wants in this film. And I think that's nothing but fantastic news. What do you think of the voice?
I thought the voice was solid, yeah.
I just don't think we need to do the raspy Christian Bale voice. That kind of set the standard as the Batman voice. And that's like, oh, that's just Batman now. When it really like isn't. Like Kevin Conroy, it's just his voice.
In what scene are you saying it sounded like Christian Bale? The initial voiceover?
Yes. I'm just saying that like I feel like that's even with Ben Affleck, even though he had even when he doesn't have the voice changer, it's still like there's more of a grittiness to it.
I feel like you're 3 takes away from saying restore the Snyderverse.
I'm getting there.
It's honestly throwing me off.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
I can't believe you hate this trailer this much. You could have at least texted me. You could have given me because I thought we were coming here and celebrating Batman.
Didn't say it was. I really liked the trailer. I'm just saying there are a couple things that I was like, interesting.
That is very interesting. I mean, we barely heard anything of the voice, so
well, there was
Christian Bale didn't come to mind.
Voiceover in the. It's not as gruff.
Yeah, it's in the beginning when he's talking about whatever he's talking about, and then he's got of course the I am vengeance. He screams at that dude from behind the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't bother me.
I'm just saying that there are other ways to portray that. I want him to do his English accent.
I'm gonna have to hear it again because I didn't hear Christian Bale. Christian Bale is like very.
I said it's
if it's Batman Begins Christian Bale, I like that voice more so than The Dark Knight.
It's not as pronounced or it's not as aggressive. But
you're going to talk about Selena Kyle. You're going to talk about this man's voice.
I said that she was perfect for the role. I already touched on her.
Talk about the look, the nails.
Yo.
The memes about Batman not wanting to solve crimes because of how good Catwoman looks have been quite realistic.
No, like
it's a dilemma.
I mean, first of all, I think any well-adjusted person who's a billionaire wouldn't just find a need to fight crime at all.
No, yeah, there are definitely other ways that you could tackle these situations, but that's why I'm excited for this portrayal, because I think it's going to be Batman at his most psychotic, where he is going too far in places, and characters, it doesn't feel like these characters want to be superheroes. It feels like they need to. It's just something innate, something inside of them that has brought them to this life. Whereas other portrayals, I think, across superhero medium, it's just, look how awesome it is to be a superhero. This is who they are. And they always say that about Batman, that he's more Batman than Bruce Wayne. So I think we're going to get the best look as to what makes Batman a psycho. Yeah,
and even as Bruce Wayne, it doesn't look like it's going to be that Christian Bale type Bruce Wayne where when he has the mask on as Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne is the disguise. He does play into that playboy role. Here, he doesn't. It does not look like that's too much part of his personality when he is Bruce.
And
even with the hair, he looks a little disheveled. And I feel like that could be, due to maybe just where he is in his life at this point. And I do like that, and I think that is an important aspect of the Batman character. Obviously, you have to be good as Batman, but Bruce Wayne is another half of the movie. And we've seen and we talked about at length how good Pattinson is as an actor, and I think he can play both that type of Bruce Wayne, and if he needs to kick up the charisma, can easily switch gears and portray that as well. So I'm very interested to see that play out.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce Wayne, it's funny because it's like the character of Bruce Wayne always has a role to play in the story as Bruce Wayne, as the billionaire playboy, because it's still a very influential position to be in. And Christian Bale, his Bruce Wayne was probably better than his Batman. I don't think anybody did that as well. Maybe Conroy, going back to the animated series, just the distinction in the voices between Bruce Wayne and Batman. But there was that true separation there in Bale's performance. I don't think any other iteration of the character has nailed that. Even though he's not my favorite, Affleck is still my favorite. But based on everything I saw in this trailer, if the movie is like good or competent, there's no way I don't come out of this where he is not my favorite Batman.
I think he has the potential to be the best, and that's saying a lot because
I know. And it's funny because we've gotten, like I've mentioned, we've gotten so many good versions of Batman, but it's like we're finally ready to give the world Batman. And that sounds funny to, I think, to most people, but there is a difference. There's been a difference between who Batman is in the comics and his cinematic portrayals, and people have gotten very close. This looks like the closest.
And we haven't really gotten a lot of like what this movie's about. Like, how does the Riddler, how does the Penguin, how does Catwoman, how do they all intertwine? How do they fit into the story?
Well, I heard Penguin doesn't have much screen time.
Yeah.
10, 15 minutes or so, which really excites me.
But if it is that Riddler type Jigsaw, you know, real mental battle of wits, that's something we haven't really seen too much in live action. And I think if they can pull it off and really take their time to flesh all these aspects out, and with the longer runtime, there's potential from what we've seen so far that this could be the best Batman film and the best portrayal of Batman, which is fucking wild considering Nolan and Bale and that trilogy.
And I don't want to say that the castings are risky, because they all look good in the roles, but it's castings that these actors wouldn't normally pop in your head. When you think of Alfred, you're not thinking Andy Serkis.
That's another thing I wanted to say. I'm digging that.
Yeah, it's different. You wonder what type of Alfred. Obviously, he's concerned. Alfred's always concerned for what Bruce is doing, but this Bruce looks like he's down real bad. And it's not only that his mission may be failing, but what he is, who he is as a person, it looks like he is losing hold of his humanity. So Alfred's got a lot on his plate to deal with. And I wonder if they're going to go the Irons route, where he's tech savvy, if he's helping out in that way, or more classical Alfred.
I think this Alfred will fuck you up.
I think so.
And fuck you, bitch.
Right, and then steal some vibranium.
And follow you and your buddy around.
And then get shot.
Middle Earth, trying to get that ring back.
Good trailer, man. DC fandom. People were saying last year was a bit better. I don't even remember what dropped last year, but you have a Batman trailer for me. I'm going to go with this year. And we'll move on here to the second trailer that we got. Black Adam. This was a quick look at the character. And as the trailer started, I thought, oh, this again, like explorers, ancient tomb, old magic. We say the words and we summon this guy. That all looks so familiar. But when he started doing stuff, I was like, oh my God, this is evil Superman. This guy's a fucking menace.
But he's going to be an anti-hero because it's The Rock.
Sure.
Because they want to set that up. But yeah, I think...
From what he did in this trailer, though, he was scary.
Yeah, no, and that's...
I wasn't expecting, like, me to be scared by The Rock as this character.
No, I think that's what you kind of want, though. Like, I think that's what they're going to ultimately set up, but if you can have a lot of darker moments, I think it can be something that... Yeah, we've seen the anti-hero or... thing play out before, but if it's a true depiction of an anti-hero, not this Venom bullshit that we got, like a true, like, super gray area where if he's gonna do some fucked up shit, then yeah, like that's something that I think this genre like kind of needs.
Definitely.
Because we see the anti-hero, even like Cruella and shit like that, in different levels and everything like that, in different stories, but they walk on eggshells around it. It's like, oh, anti-hero, but they're good. You can root for them and feel good. I want to feel dirty rooting for some of these characters, you know?
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to take the approach of misunderstood. Mm-hmm. He was brought to Earth. He doesn't know where he is. He's being attacked, so he kills these people, these innocent people. But like I mentioned, man, the way that he does kill them, just turning that one guy to dust, catching the bullet, him rising above them, not showing The Rock's face, his presence was just very ominous and very scary. So if they do go the anti-hero route, that's, like you mentioned, this is where you want to start it. Get people on his side because of how cool and badass he is, and then redeem him. You've got a pretty good formula there. And obviously it's The Rock, and this could be a big character. If you have the chance to create a new hero and make him a tentpole character, you have to take it, even if he is a villain from the comics, because at the end of the day, this could be billions and billions of dollars if it hits.
We need Superman back, because The Rock wants this character to be able to take on Superman, and one of my favorite animations, animated DC, is Shazam and Superman teaming up to take on Black Adam, and I want to see that as a Rock Black Adam. We need Superman back. And
well, they suck.
DC?
How many times are we going to say it on this podcast? They had the perfect Superman.
I want to see Cavill and
The Rock.
Levi fight The Rock.
Yes.
Like,
I don't want it to be a new Superman.
Especially if they do the incarnation of Superman whose weakness is magic. Like, that's awesome, because Black Adam is, right up there with Superman, and he's also magic.
Yeah.
How is he going to get out of this situation?
Yeah, and just the way they portrayed him, he looks like a character that can go toe-to-toe with Superman and have no problems. Superman in the DC, I was going to say MCU, he is very overpowered. He's always overpowered. So you need these heavy hitters to go up against him. And the star power there with The Rock and Cavill, you can build that. That may be bigger than Batman v Superman. You know, if like Black Adam was a good movie coming out, and then that movie is also good.
Well, that's always the thing with Batman versus Superman. You know, casuals who don't know Batman and prep time and all that jazz.
Right.
They think it's ridiculous. Like Batman can't. But like The Rock against Superman, that's selling tickets.
Those idiots don't know prep time. Fucking morons. Didn't spend enough time on comicvine.com as a kid.
Oh, it's the best. I love that.
You can really build that as a heavyweight matchup. Like I said, not only just the actors playing the characters, but the characters themselves. So I mean, this is coming out next year. It feels like, I can't believe The Rock stuck with this. I think you got to give him some credit here. A lot of actors have been attached to franchises for years and years and years, and eventually they just give it up because their schedule gets packed out. But The Rock stayed consistent with this, man. He really wants to bring this movie to life. So I'm happy that we finally saw some footage.
Me too. I'm very excited for this. Shazam is one of my favorite animated characters from the animated series and movies. So I've always had an affinity for not only him but Black Adam, who's an integral part of their story. So I just wish there was like a scenario where we could get Superman and Billy Batson together to fight him. But
well, maybe with this new Flash movie coming out, the Flash messes up the timeline so much that they bring back Henry Cavill as Superman. Imagine that they had to use a Flash movie to bring back the Superman.
They don't have to do that because he's already fucking Superman.
Right. At this point, they may have to. I was pleasantly surprised by this footage. It's another case where obviously they're still shooting, so the movie hasn't wrapped. They're still working on it, so they don't have as much finished.
It's going to come out.
Well, we've got our look here.
They wrap filming and everything, and the movie is going to come out, but I'm not going to believe it until I'm in the theater.
Right, but like I mentioned, we have Ezra Miller as the Flash, a new suit. He's doing things.
Suit was tight.
He's got another Flash with him. He's also got Supergirl in the background as well. And of course, Michael Keaton's Batman. We hear the voiceover. We hear him talk about the Flash's abilities to travel through the multiverse. Dude, isn't it so weird how Captain America Civil War and Batman v Superman lined up, and now Spider-Man and the Flash are lining up as well?
One's doing it to expand the universe. The other is to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how much fixing they actually do, if it even needs fixing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like, obviously this movie's been through a lot, and I'm still looking forward to it. As much as like I'm like Ezra Miller as the Flash isn't my favorite, and everything surrounding it, just, I mean, Michael Keaton as Batman coming back, that's just cool. And I'm just interested to see what route they're gonna go. What's like a lot of that intrigue with Spider-Man, just like who are they going to bring back? Because you can do anything really in these type of movies and it will make sense. So there's opportunities for cameos, opportunities to get weird, opportunities to set up new things that couldn't have happened or weren't established prior. So just like, I guess aside from what we're going to see within the movie, the most interesting thing is how this sets up everything else going forward.
Yeah, the setup definitely. Also, how they're going to interact, how they're going to explain the fact that he's now in Michael Keaton's Batman's Batcave. Seeing him come back as the character is going to be a great moment. He's an iconic Batman. He's a great actor. I think that those two actors will have great chemistry together. Flash and Batman always naturally have great chemistry, just based on how the characters are written. Flash being the young optimistic and Bruce being the ultimate pessimist. Opposites always play well off of each other, especially when they have superpowers. And bringing in Sasha Calle as Supergirl, this is going to be the first time I think we've seen Supergirl on the big screen. Obviously, we've seen her on television multiple times, seen her in the comics, cousin of Superman, who arrived on Earth first. And she could be from a different universe. There was also just a different Flash, a different Ezra Miller Flash there. Mm-hmm. They can get really weird with the cameos, man. Yeah,
it's going to be fun, I think. I don't know if it's going to be any good, but fun. That's all we want, right? We'll have a good time at the cinema.
Well, for a long time on this podcast, I've maintained the position that I'll believe it when I see it when it comes to the Flash movie. So I've seen some footage now, and I can believe that the movie is actually coming out. All right, now before we move on to the next story, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor for today's episode, Liquid Death. Quite the name. And you might recognize them from your local stores in the water section, those aluminum cans that look like strange tall boys of beer. Well, it's actually not beer inside of those cans. It's water. and more specifically, mountain water from the Alps. Now, why is this water called liquid death if it's fresh spring water from the Alps? Well, two reasons. One, it will brutally murder your thirst, and two, Liquid Death's recyclable tallboy cans are helping to bring an end to plastic bottles. Many people don't know that plastic is no longer recyclable, and how many plastics being thrown into recyclable bins are being wasted. In contrast, aluminum is infinitely recyclable and is actually profitable for recycling facilities. So if you want to help bring an end to plastic bottles while also bringing an end to your thirst, you can visit liquiddeath.com/nerdsoup to get free shipping on all water and merchandise purchases. Or you can pick up some Liquid Death at your local Whole Foods or 7-Eleven. And I know we have a very environmentally conscious audience out there, so drinking Liquid Death it's for a good cause. It's good water, and it's for a good reason. And I totally forgot to mention, you can also join the Liquid Death Country Club if you hit the link, liquiddeath.com/nerdsoup. And after your first 2 purchases of water, you will receive a free t-shirt. So if you sell your soul and join the country club, you get a free shirt. That's pretty neat. Aaron, I know you've got a can of Liquid Death right there. How are you enjoying your Liquid Death?
I never used to like sparkling water, but I've definitely grown on it.
Oh, you got a sparkling.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I used to hate it when I was a kid, but now I've really grown to appreciate the sparkling water. I love I tell you what, too. I like Liquid Death. Did you read the back of this can?
Yeah, it's insane.
I love it. When a group of teenagers set off for the mountains for a weekend of drinking regular water in plastic bottles, they become hunted by an aluminum can of mountain water that was dead set on murdering their thirst and recycling their souls. Once cracked open, no thirst is safe from Liquid Death. After ritually dismembering its thirst victims, this brutal can of water used the severed body parts of dead thirst to build itself a fresh suit, which it used...
Flesh suit.
A flesh suit, which she used as a disguise to get a job in marketing. But Liquid Death never took the job. It just murdered a bunch more thirsts instead. I had a great time reading that.
That is a true story, actually.
I was on a journey. This is like a Bakugo made of sparkling water.
It really is,
Liquid
because it's
Death.
so aggressive and in your face. But it's for a good cause, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And you can hand them out to kids in the park, and then the kids everyone's gonna think that you handed out beer. Be like, oh, those kids are drinking beer. Like, no, it's just Liquid Death. It's water. As I get hauled off into the police van. Why are you handing out Liquid Death to these kids? All right, let's move on to the next topic here. Speaking of out-of-this-world stories, the first movie ever shot in space has officially wrapped. The Russian crew landed October 17th, so that was yesterday, and they were still filming some shots on the landing spot. But this is... interesting news. You know, they shot it. It's about somebody in the International Space Station who needs an operation. So they send somebody up to operate on them, and they shot it within, I think, 12 days. They were at the International Space Station. And like I mentioned, it's going to be the first film shot entirely in space, with some scenes on Earth as well. So not entirely. I guess 95, 98%. But that's cool. I mean, dude, being like, when people always say rich people are going to escape to space as the Earth implodes, being in space sucks. It's super uncomfortable. The way you have to eat, the way you have to shit, it's just it's an inconvenience. So for them to be able to shoot a movie in 12 days, impressive. Let's see if the movie's actually good, right?
Yeah, it seems just like an overcompensation for losing the space race. So, I guess good job, Russia, but... I mean, no, people still not going to forget 1969.
You think that's what it is?
Oh, yeah, and Tom Cruise is just going to do it better when he can, so good job.
Well, that movie may be the first fake movie shot in space, the moon landing. That's what Teddy would think.
Yeah. No, it's definitely...
Well, they talked about this a few years back, Star Wars shooting some sequences in space. Just use the fucking green screen. I don't need an action movie shot in actual space. That's... too difficult. Like I said, this was 12 days in a cramped space station.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, like, from a filmmaking perspective, it's pretty monumental. Like, it's pretty cool. I think just that intrigue alone is going to get me to watch it, and I think a lot of people. It'll be fun to see, like, what is the difference? Like, are we going to watch this film that's shot in space and then compare it to, like, a Gravity and be like...
Are we going to start floating, you mean?
You know, just, like, how different does it look?
Yeah.
You know, we always appreciate practicality, but this is something that hasn't been able to be done to for a large extent practically with space shots and space movies. So it's going to be fun to see.
So I imagine that it's just going to have a very cramped and claustrophobic feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
I want the movie of how this movie was actually made, because I imagine they've got some interesting stories, just sharing their experience, you know? Like I said, being in space sucks, dude. Like the dude who...
Oh, you've been?
I've read some accounts. Like, what was the dude's name? Joe Kelly, I think it was, the astronaut who stayed a year in space. He was the first American to do that. He retired as soon as he landed. He got off the spaceship and retired because it's such a draining experience.
He was there for a year.
Yeah,
I go anywhere for a year, I'm retiring. I wrote a short story about space, my exploration of space class in college, and got an A, so I know space. No, I mean...
Yeah, you ripped off the Planet of the Apes for your ending. I guess your teacher wasn't that well read in
not really. It was different.
Arts.
There was some.
It was literally like a monkey saw the Statue of Liberty.
It was different. But
it was the Vegas Statue of Liberty.
What was I gonna say? Space.
Time.
Continuum.
The final frontier.
Yeah.
You saw Shatner went to space?
Dude, he is 90 years old. He doesn't look 90.
No, he doesn't, man.
I feel like people are getting older.
A lot of work done.
They're not looking
no.
like they're too old.
You know what really pissed me off is he was explaining to Bezos the experience. Bezos completely interrupts him to pop a bottle of champagne. I felt so bad for Shatner. Such a rich, douchey thing to do.
Think he's still fucking?
Shatner?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it gets to a point where, I can't. I don't think 90-year-old William Shatner's if he's going to space, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, why go to space?
Right. I love William Shatner, man. All right, let's move on to the next story about a man in space. Will Poulter has been cast as Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Adam Warlock is a character that MCU fans have been speculating on for years. Who is going to play this character? What is this character actually going to do? Are we going to see him in Infinity War? We did not. Are we going to see him in Guardians 2? We did at the end. Now in Guardians 3, he is finally here. He will be played by Will Poulter, who is a good actor, up and coming, who normally plays villains, and I think it's because of the look on his face. He's just got that villainous brow.
Dude, you know what? That's just like how do I describe it? I feel like so many people have that face.
The pissed off face?
Just that face, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he's always grilling everyone.
But like a lot of people have those same like features and face and like facial structure.
Yeah,
a lot. And they always get grouped and they get memed as like either the bad guy from Toy Story or the Incredibles guy.
Right. The dude that makes all the technology.
It's like that Sam Darnold, Will Poulter type Clemens look.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Are you trying to say all white people look alike?
They do. But yeah, this is definitely a surprising casting. Like, he wouldn't have been, if we got a fan question, who should play Adam Warlock? I don't think I would have said Will Poulter, but like, he's got the look. A lot of people were shitting on it by showing a picture from him in We Are the Millers. Like, that wasn't 10 years ago when he was like a child. Like, people grow, and he's like fucking like a stud. He's ripped, he's big. Like, I think it's good casting.
And Adam Warlock, we don't know what he's going to look like on screen. They may all give him some alterations. The costume may be CGI. The skin may be CGI. We don't know if they're going to keep him as a golden man. He's also a character that he's got a mystique about him. He's like a godlike presence. Even in the Infinity Gauntlet comic, he's pulling the strings behind the scene. He's not really fighting, but he's putting all these characters in the right places to defeat Thanos. So he's got this otherworldly presence to him that you don't need to cast someone who has the traditional hero look. You can cast someone like Will Poulter, who's got a sort of interesting look to him, where you don't look at him and instantly think hero, good guy, even though Adam Warlock is a hero and a good guy. Like I said, he's just on another plane than these other characters, like a Silver Surfer or even a Doctor Strange at times, you know? So I think this is a genius stroke, man. I really do, and I'm excited to finally see this character in action. How are they going to use him? You know, is he going to be one of the main players in Phase 4, or sort of a player that comes and goes, you know, in different stories? Because he doesn't only have to be in Guardians 3; he can appear in anything, you know. Yeah.
He's a character that, like you said, can pretty much interact in any of the cosmic realm of the MCU going forward. And I think Will Poulter, like I mentioned, We're the Millers. He's been in a couple comedic roles too, so I think that fits right in with James Gunn's style and the way he writes. So yeah, I'm excited. See how he fits in with that cast.
I think he'll fit right in. I think James Gunn knows what he's doing, so he confirmed the casting on Twitter. And he's developed great relationships with his actors. So, all right, let's move on to the last topic here. We have new titles for M. Night Shyamalan and Wes Anderson's movies. M. Night Shyamalan coming out with another horror movie called Knock at the Cabin. I imagine Aaron's very excited for that. And Wes Anderson's new movie is going to be titled Asteroid City.
What's more likely? Shyamalan's back or Wes Anderson delivers a stinker?
Shyamalan, at this point, you expect maybe it will be better than some of the other shit he comes out with, but like I said, he had, besides for Split, he's been pretty consistent. Split was just the one uptick. So I'm going to say, yeah, it's more likely that Wes Anderson delivers a stinker because Shyamalan ain't coming back.
What if this is part of the plan? And his last great twist
is that he's a good director?
Yes. They're just making terrible movies on purpose so he can come back with a fucking banger.
I would like to live in that world, you know?
That would be next level shit.
There are a lot of worlds I would like to live in where things like that happen, but that's not reality. You're saying this man's Thanos.
Yeah. More likely, this movie is good, or Wes Anderson's movie is like just shot normally.
More likely that this movie is good, without a doubt. Well, it feels like we didn't even get the last Wes Anderson, and we're already talking about the new one.
French Dispatch didn't even come out yet.
Yeah, well, it came out for everyone who's important, I guess. I guess the general public, we're just waiting on them. Because it feels like every critic alive has seen the French Dispatch.
Yeah, we couldn't see it in New York, so it sucks.
Yeah, Ted saw it, though. Imagine. Ted's like, yeah, I didn't see Dune, but I saw the French Dispatch. Poor guy.
I'm happy he gets to see it Thursday.
It's a good title, though, Asteroid City. Dude, what's up with Dune coming out on HBO Max at 3 p.m.?
I don't know what they're doing.
Who cares, though, right?
I do.
Stream it. Stream it, stream it, stream it. They've said that's all that matters.
Maybe it's like, this is a reaction, like, oh, we're already doing pretty good worldwide, like, internationally, so who cares? Next thing you know, you're like, oh, Dune's just going to be implanted into your brain. You don't even have to go see it.
That's what's going to happen to me, honestly. All right, let's go to fan questions.
How about The Last Duel making $4 million on a $100 million budget?
Terrible marketing. I don't think I saw a shred of marketing for that movie anywhere.
You know what movie my grandma really liked? Dear Evan Hansen.
That sounds about right.
She thought it was endearing. She liked Ben Platt.
I think my mom would like that movie too. And then I'll tell her why it's problematic, and she'll be like, oh.
Oh. I let her have that one.
That's for the fan to decide.
Yay! People, you call up to the show, you better be ready. That's what you're supposed to do. Sitting there arguing and you're trying to spell your name and all of this other stuff. It's not your show, it's my show. I'm giving you the opportunity to speak your mind. Don't call up here unless you got something to say.
All right, good question here to start us off from Zayad. Zayad of the Year. Why do you think The Last Duel bombed at the box office?
Terrible marketing. I don't know.
You know that's Disney. Distributed by Disney. 20th Century Studios, man. I wonder if there was like... Well, it's also like...
Yeah, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, like...
No,
Ridley Scott.
They didn't do a good job of explaining what the movie actually is. I don't think when you watch that trailer, you don't really get anything from it. Is there going to be a battle? Who's the good guy? Who am I rooting for? There's a woman?
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck look ridiculous.
They look ridiculous, so I think a lot of people may be turned off by that, but the reviews have been positive.
This has got to be... Yeah, positive. This is going to be marketed as...
It's been marketed
from the guy
as
who made you Gladiator.
Right.
This is the next big fucking battle showdown.
But it's not a battle. That's the other thing. It's a movie about
right. I know
two men fighting. So how do you even market that?
It's a Gladiator. Two men fighting. That's
it's hard not to market this movie and make it look totally boring.
Well, I mean,
I want to see it.
It's also like it's a heavy subject matter, like what the conflict is about. Maybe you really can't get too much into that on commercial spots during Sunday Night Football.
No,
but that's when you got to shift the focus. Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, from the mind who brought you Gladiator, The Last Duel. Show them fighting, show them dueling. Like, this is... Who cares if you're not going to tell them what the movie is about? Wouldn't it be the first time?
Well, yeah, it's not even that you don't have to tell them what the movie's about, but you need to give some inclination as to why the audience will go out and actually watch this. Like Blade Runner 2049 did a terrible job of letting people know that it was a continuation of the original Blade Runner, that you were stepping back into this world. It didn't give you enough to be invested in the world. And with a movie like this, I think you're right. You have to market your stars. That's why you get invested, because it's Matt Damon and Adam Driver and Ben Affleck in medieval attire fighting and dueling. What is this? I want to go see this, but it sucks. You wonder if maybe this was something that was already made and Disney just had it in the can, so they just decided to release it. But yeah, it bombed because of terrible marketing, and sometimes movies fucking bomb.
Got an 87 on Rotten Tomatoes. Like,
yeah.
You would think all the formula, like all the pieces are in place, but I guess not.
This question here from Eve Were 13. Who is the most overrated actor, but you're not mad about it? That's an easy answer for me. It is Leo, because even though I think he's overrated as a talent,
I hate him. I don't like that.
At this point, it's I talk down on him so much that I guess you could accuse me of hating him, but I don't hate him. What I do love most about him is how everybody else loves him. He's the guy. You can't deny that. It's amazing the career that he's built, where when he was up for the Oscar, people that I never saw posting about movies on social media like, oh, I hope Leo wins. I hope Leo wins. So I like the way that everyone else likes him. I truly do. And I like that he's kind of the actor of our generation. You know, he's kind of the face. Like, I compared him to Tom Brady the other day. You could tell that he's got such an affinity for film, just based on the directors that he chooses to work with. He's carved out such a nice filmography for himself. So I'm not mad about it whatsoever. I mean, sometimes it ticks me off the way people talk about him, like you saying he's better than Christian Bale. I still lose sleep over that.
I'm saying there's a discussion to be had. I don't know if
That's disrespectful. That's mad disrespectful.
I didn't know if I definitively said he was better. I was just thinking about roles and interchangeable. Because it came because I said I could see Christian Bale as the Wolf of Wall Street.
Well, no, the argument actually predates that argument. Because we were comparing, somebody posed us the question.
Was it like filmography or actor?
No, it was like 3 American actors versus 3 British actors.
Oh, I would take Leo. I mean, as far as... I think he still is the number one. Like you said, he is the movie star.
Right.
So,
but in terms of talent,
I'm still taking Leo. It could be biased because that's my boy, but it's just what I got to do. I feel like George Clooney is another one where he is the movie star, right?
Right.
He's good. He's no Tom Hanks.
You know what? He hasn't had a great role in a long time.
But I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I could see that. You think he's overrated, but you're not mad about it. You can't be mad at Clooney.
It's just Clooney.
He's one of the guys. Yeah, he's a legend. The name, the handsomeness. This question here from Lauren Rollins. If you have never seen The Sopranos, should you start off with The Many Saints of Newark? No. That's the worst thing that you could actually do. First of all, it's not as good. Second of all, it starts with a major spoiler, like 30 seconds in. So avoid it at all costs. Seriously. I don't know why I went Boston accent there. Cost. This question here from Kevin Oakey. What's the full story behind the fight at Lily's?
With Teddy?
Do you know that? That's the iconic black eye picture, right?
It's so fucking funny. Seeing Teddy's face beat to a pulp never, like,
well, that picture of him playing video games, he looks so goofy. The man just went right back to his normal life.
We'll have Teddy come. Next time Teddy's come on, we'll have to have him tell the story because he can tell it better than I can.
Cool. All right, Kevin. We'll answer that question next podcast. This one here from Brendan Pike. Who would you cast as Pattinson's Robin?
Who's a good Robin?
I'm trying to think of a young actor.
Right, because Pattinson's a young guy. Like
Shameik Moore.
Okay.
I would go Shameik Moore. I think he's the appropriate age because Dick Grayson and Bruce don't... He doesn't even have to be Dick Grayson. But I think it would be cool. They don't have to be that separate in age. I think they could be closer, like big brother, little brother.
I mean, if it's Nightwing already, then you can go a little older. But if it's going to be Robin, where like his parents are fresh off of falling from the trapeze thing, and he's an 8-year-old orphan or however old he is, it's got to be a young guy. It's got to be a young kid.
Yeah. And I know Batman, Bruce Wayne, is supposed to be younger. It's supposed to be closer to a rookie Batman. So maybe, I don't know. I think you can also change it around. Like, you don't have to make it so accurate.
I would like a 10 to 12-year-old, kind of in that range, to be
I don't know if that fits in with this universe.
No, it doesn't. But it would
Unless
be
if it was Damian Wayne, he fits in perfectly with this universe.
Yeah.
Who's crazier than Batman? I don't know. An unknown, honestly.
Yeah.
If you want to go on the younger side, then get an unknown. That's the best way to do it. Because I think with Robin, A lot of people still have the taste in their mouth from the Clooney movies. A lot of people still associate him with a more kiddie Batman.
Right.
So get an unknown and then grit him the hell up, and I think that would be the best route.
So Robin in those movies, he was performing with his parents, so he was older.
Right.
That was weird, taking like a 25-year-old ward. Batman's
Everything
weird.
about those movies were super weird.
Batman's just a weird guy.
Yeah, Batman's just a weird guy in general. This question here from Jordan Bloom, Team Logan or Team Kendall?
Kendall. If you're Team Logan, you're a psychopath.
You know what? I think I just respect the man at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not act like any of these characters are redeemable. They've all done horrible, horrible things. Kendall's a bit more hip. He's more with the times, so I guess he's a bit more likable. But you know what? I think I'm rooting for the old bear. I want him at this point. He's been so successful for so long. He's already done so much damage. Give him one last win. This question here from Fred Pauly. Are you guys more excited for the new Thor movie or God of War Ragnarok?
Thor.
If I had to compare them, yeah, I'm more excited for that Thor movie. Everything about it sounds
God of
insane.
War will probably be a better piece of media.
Let's not go so far, man. Ragnarok was pretty good.
I know. But in terms
they're so
of...
different.
I know. But like God of War is Game of the Year type shit. You know, was Ragnarok even Movie of the Year? Top 10 that year?
No.
So I'm sure it's going to be better received and overall maybe a better piece of art. But for me personally, my personal investment, I mean, fucking Thor. Come on. The Guardians are going to be in it. Christian Bale's going to be in it. Taika Waititi, Chris Hemsworth teaming back up again. Jane Foster as Thor, female Thor.
I know. So many fucking crazy things are going to happen in that movie. But the game is going to, on PS5, coming out on the next gen, bringing in those characters that were teased in God of War 4. That's going to be so exciting as well. This one here from Milk Chuggin' Champ. What do you guys think of the Scream franchise?
Why are you chugging all that milk?
That can kill you. You chug a gallon of milk, you'll fucking die.
You won't die, you'll throw up everywhere.
If you don't throw up, you'll fucking die. That happened once.
To who?
Some woman chugging milk for like a free Xbox or something like that. She ended up fucking dying.
That you're setting it up for your buddy Eric.
What happened to my buddy Eric one time? Aaron. I haven't seen Scream 3 or 4 or...
No, they all just...
But the first two are very good.
I think Scream for me, when I just think of Ghostface.
Scary movie?
Scary movie, Ghostface doing What's Up.
What's up? It is an incredible franchise. I mean, the first two, very good horror movies. This question here from Daniel Riley. If you guys were going to live abroad for a year, where would you go?
Space. So I can retire.
Well, I'm interested to hear your answer. You're the big traveler. You're Aaron Bourdain, remember?
Yeah,
You've been to Utah. You went to Maine once as a kid, right?
I would fuck with Park City for a year. I think that would be awesome. So here it's seasonal. Like, everyone thinks the winter. Here all year round. It's just perfect. You know, I'd like to go, I don't know, somewhere with some culture, some life, something different.
Some culture and some life.
Yeah. I don't know.
Malaysia?
Myrtle Beach.
Culture, some life. Nashville.
Little Rock.
No, I mean, I would take
Europe, somewhere
Rome.
in Asia. Here, I've had friends that got to Thailand. They said that was awesome. They stayed there for years. That would be cool.
Years?
Yeah, they just stayed.
God damn. That's cool.
This is kind of cool.
Yeah, I would say Rome.
I feel like it's just a vacation spot. Because once you live there, you're just like, oh, what am I, a Rome?
You mean a Roman?
Roman.
I love in The Sopranos. Totally unrelated.
When in Rome, not like when you move to Rome for a year.
Remember in The Sopranos when they're shaking up that guy and he's like, what happened to the Romans? And Tony's like, you're looking at the motherfucker.
Oh, man.
All right, last question here from Cody Stereo. We'll end on a Batman question for the Batman pod. Which
the
villains...
island where Andy Dufresne went at the end of Shawshank. That seems like a nice place.
Bergman Island.
Nah.
That's where he went.
Did he?
Yeah, he said, my favorite director, Ingmar Bergman. You got to meet me there. He's like, damn, who's his favorite director again? Tarkovsky? Last question.
Imagine a Tarkovsky Island.
No, I wouldn't want to go
Who would
there.
be the worst director's island to go visit?
Lynch. Just be a whole...
No, I feel like it's just like...
It'd be very laid back.
It would be like a small section in the beach, but you just take acid.
Right.
And like that's cool.
Lynch is a funny guy. Does meditation every day, but smokes cigarettes.
Like I'm like sure like obviously it would be a weird island, but I don't think you would ever like. I don't think Lynch would do you like that. Like a Tarantino island would like scare me more.
Because it just blows up at the end of the day.
Yeah, just be like weird, unnecessary shit going on. Like it'd be too extra. Lynch, you know, I think he'll give you
no sandals allowed.
He wouldn't do that to his people. He's like, it's gonna get a little weird, but you'll be all right at the end of the day. Until it's not. Just kidding. This is a horror movie. It's like, thank you, David Lynch.
All right, final question, Cody Stereo. What other villains would you like to see in Matt Reeves' Batman universe?
Joker, baby. Nah.
He's some people want him, other people don't. They're like, we've seen him too much. We've had too many versions of the Joker. I don't give a fuck. I want to see Matt Reeves as Joker.
Give me a Hugo Strange.
Or Hush.
Hush.
I think it would benefit them from using some of the tertiary villains.
Hugo Strange is an interesting guy. He's always, I think, like in some of the animations or the comics or the video games.
How about Deathstroke, right?
I tell you what, him like the way the Riddler matches him on like an intellectual level, seeing like someone like a Deathstroke matching him on a physical level, I think that would be really cool.
Right, because then you check off 2 boxes with your first 2 movies. Like you said, you have Deathstroke, who is kind of the mirror image to Batman. Obviously, he uses his powers for his personal game as a mercenary.
Hush is just an actual mirror image of Batman.
No, Hush is literally the mirror image. So if you want to
talk about a fucking freaky psychopath,
he's got a lot of issues,
dude. I'm just gonna make myself look like Batman or Bruce Wayne.
I imagine there's a lot of people out there that would want to do that. Right,
not a bad thing to do, but his like reasoning for it. The Riddler matches him intellectually. The sequel matches Deathstroke, matches him physically, and the third movie, just someone who just matches him.
It just matches him.
Just matches him.
Just that's who he is.
And you get 2 Pattinsons. It's like a little weird, like something's off about him.
That could be really hot.
2 Pattinsons?
This Batman series is already looking sexy as fuck.
Selena Kyle's gonna be like, whoa.
I know.
Jackpot.
Right. It's Twilight all over again, except 2 of the good guy.
2 Edwards?
Yeah, 2 Edwards.
Wow.
Oh, that's what you get for Robin. All right, guys, that is the Nerd 2 podcast for today. Thank you for listening, Tyler Lautner.
I was lost, like, Kristen Stewart?
I don't hate that either. No, let's keep them separate. They've had their issues off screen. But Aaron, thank you for joining me for this podcast. It was a fun one to talk about. A lot of good trailers. We're excited for the rest of this week, man. We've got Dune coming up, so you guys can stay tuned for our spoiler discussion. We'll be dropping that. It's going to be a hell of a weekend, man.
You know what would be a terrible island? Woody Allen Island. Damn, we were making some good points in that video. Hey guys, Aaron the Nerd Suit Monkey here. Before we end this video, I want to give a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters. What can I say about you guys that I haven't already said about myself? You are the most important part of the channel and the main reason we keep going strong. Like Bo says, you keep the lights on in the fridge so the fridge is full. Or something like that. So, from everyone here at Nerd Soup, I'd like to thank you guys for your continued support. If you're interested in joining the ranks of our patron supporters, head over to patreon.com/nerdsoup and check out the rewards we offer to our patrons. We recently dropped some new stickers for you guys to check out, or you could choose a tier that will allow you to select a movie, show, or video game for us to review. We've got a full slate of fan-suggested reviews coming your way, and we're really excited about the chance to review some of those movies and shows. We've also got t-shirts, mugs, behind-the-scenes videos showing how we bring our videos to life. And once again, thank you to all our Patreon pledgers who have been supporting us throughout the years. Without you, we wouldn't be able to convert all your pledges into cryptocurrency, so thank you from my future self for making us rich.